The book I have chosen for my ISP project is Speak by Laurie Halse, and it looks like this. The book is written in a monologue style. It's in the point of view of the protagonist, and her name is Melinda Sordino. From the first page, we learn that she's a freshman in high school and she has no friends. She explains that she actually did have friends, but they were lost because of an event that happened in the summer in which she called the cops on a party. Now, the whole book is based on this event, and it's from figuring out why she called the cops to why she's become such a negative person. It's obvious that the party has changed her. It was a significant event in her life that made her become so closed off and quiet and negative. So Mel, or Melinda, uses a lot of foreshadowing to explain what happened at the party, because every time she runs into Rachel Bruins, her ex-best friend, in her mind, when she narrates it in the book, she says something along the lines of, "Oh, I wish I could tell her what happened," or "If only she knew what happened, she wouldn't hate me right now." Up until almost the last 50 pages that we actually learn what happened to her. But before that, because of all the foreshadowing and how she tells the story, we know that she has been assaulted. The guy that assaulted her, she calls him it. I think it's to disassociate him as a person because he did something so inhumane that she has to call him it. And on page 86, there's a passage where she says, "It found me again. I thought I could ignore it. There are 400 other freshmen in here, 200 female, plus all the other grades." But he whispers to me. To make matters worse, Rachel actually ends up dating that guy, and Melinda is torn between telling Rachel what really happened and warning her and helping her and leaving her be as revenge because of how poorly Rachel treated her during the school year. Throughout the book, Melinda grows quieter and quieter because of the memories and the fact that it goes to her school. Sooner or later, she decides that she should only speak when she feels it's necessary or when it's mandatory. Eventually, she actually only expresses her feelings through her artwork, which is trees, because that was what she was assigned for art class. And typically, these feelings are negative, so she would always draw dead trees, or her art would always be very dark. However, she describes art class as her safe haven. She feels that it's like a place where no one can judge her, she can be herself. But on the inside, we can see that she's very quirky and she's sarcastic, and she's always the first one to make a negative remark about an activity she's doing. For example, when she was asked to go to her modeling job with her only friend who left her, Heather, she was like, "Heather looks like our Thanksgiving turkey, wearing a blue bikini. Her goosebumps are bigger than her boobs." And it's quite humorous. She makes very snarky remarks, which I find is very fun to read. Nearing the end of the book, Melinda soon realizes that she should speak out about what happened, and it was when she was at home and she watched the Oprah Winfrey show about rape that she realized that, oh, I have to talk about this. I have to speak out, because if I don't, it's gonna be trapped inside of me. When she's finally come to terms with the fact that she has been raped, she gives a name to the character, and his name is Andy Evans, who she calls Andy Beast because he's a beast. Because of this, she gains the confidence to stand up to her offender. Near the end of the book, she gets trapped in a closet with him, and she screams at him. She screams no, and it's something that she's never been able to do before. That was one of the issues in the book, and finally she has decided, oh my goodness, I can say no, it's totally okay. I won't get hurt if I say no. And after that scene where she stood up to her offender, the book finished with a very positive and light at the end of the tunnel kind of ending. One thing I really liked about this book was how laid back it was to read. It wasn't really action-packed. It was very calm, and it was in the point of view of a person. I sympathized with her when she had hard times, like when she was explaining that she didn't have any friends or anything. I felt bad for her. But because this was so negative and dark at the beginning, it was quite hard to read. But it wasn't completely hard to read because of her art teacher, Mr. Freeman. his character was very bright and encouraging, and it gave a little more light to the story. Another thing I really liked was that she was very poetic and she described everything using metaphors. She always captured the character of a setting. So if a room was dark and gloomy, she made it seem like no one wanted to be there. And also characters. In this passage on page 120, she describes Melinda's relationship between her and her mom. And it says, "Mother is the rock, I am the ocean. I have to pout and roll my eyes for hours until she finally wears down and crumbles into 1,000 grains of beach sand." Basically, she's saying that her mom's a tough cookie and stubborn, but she says it in a very poetic way. This book was very enjoyable. I would definitely read it again just for the pleasure of it. It is Speak by Laurie Halse Anderson, and there's my dog.